Yeah, hi peeps. This is a video about the Trayvon Zimmerman case. I think it's normal that he would have been found not guilty under the circumstances and the direction of the judge, and under the laws of the state as they stand at the moment. But I do believe that there is a case for the government to step in now and bring charges against him for a racial assault. I don't know whether Zimmerman explained why he thought Trayvon was a threat. I don't think that anywhere I've seen actually covered as in why he came to the conclusion that this young black man was in some way a threat to his community or up to no good. I know that he's said on the phone to the police response, these, not under his breath, these punks always got away with it. But why did he have that idea in his head? What was it about this person in his community that he didn't recognise that he felt made them a threat? Was he ever questioned along those lines during the court case? Was any answers ever given to why he felt this person was a threat and needed to call the police? I don't know if that was ever covered anywhere fully. I mean, was there ever a full explanation as to why he called the police? Or was it simply that this was just what he did anytime he seen an unrecognisable young black man in his area, in which case there's a definite need for the government to the DOJ to bring a case of racist assault with a deadly weapon against them. Whether that court case ever arises, probably won't, but whether it ever arises we'll find out in the near future. But I do think there's also a case for the family to bring charges against them in a non-criminal court, a civil suit for callous indifference and assault with deadly weapon. I really believe that he was callous and indifferent at the time of this happening, and I think it proves that case himself by asking if he should be followed, being told no, and then callously disregarding that advice from the police officer on the other end of the phone, leaving his car and pursuing Trayvon. It's been proven during the court case that he lied about why he left the car, and as I say, there's never any full explanation as far as I can find of why he saw Trayvon as a threat to his community. And also the fact that when they meet, for whatever reason they meet, he never identifies himself to Trayvon as a concerned citizen of the area. He seemed to approach Trayvon, accost him. Trayvon, I think out of fear, probably assaulted Zimmerman, knocking him to the ground, and tried to leave the area. He didn't stand his ground. I think Trayvon was trying to leave the area. Zimmerman then got up after being assaulted, furious that this black punk was about to escape, pulled his gun, chased young Trayvon down, grabbed him and fired the bullet through his hoodie into his chest as they were standing up, and then fell on the ground himself on top of Trayvon, perhaps doing some of the injuries to himself there when they fell over, tangled together as Trayvon died. Then made up all the story that you heard in the court case. That appears to me to be a more rational reason as to why Zimmerman says this is where we met at the corner, and yet the body of Trayvon and the end of the scuffle ending in the death of Trayvon happens 25 metres away. I don't believe if you get into a tussle or a fist fight with someone that you end up at a straight line 25 metres away. Fights just don't go like that. Never have I ever been in a fight where we've fought in a straight line. You know, if you're pursuing someone, that's when it goes in a straight line. The person runs in one direction and you chase after them. That's how you end up 25 metres from where the initial scuffle started. But if you're in a fist fight with people, you get thrown and twisted round, you back up, you move round, you circle. There would be trampling all around that area, but it doesn't seem there's any evidence of an altercation that went on for that length of time. It doesn't seem that if you look at the ground where he's supposed to have been pinned by Trayvon, you would think that would happen at the point where they had the fight. I don't see how he managed, unfit, incapable of competing in a physical combative situation, according to his court case. Zimmerman was able to struggle and fight in a straight line along the backs of houses to where he was pinned to the ground by Trayvon. And that doesn't make any sense. Anybody who's been in a fight knows that doesn't make any sense. It's not the sort of thing that happens in a fight, even a one-sided fight. If Trayvon was so physically superior to Zimmerman, he would have knocked him down where they met and been on top of him there at the corner. They wouldn't have been a whole house length further along a path, It just doesn't make any sense. I think Zimmerman showed a callous indifference to Trayvon from the moment he saw him. And I think what happened was Trayvon assaulted him, tried to get away. Zimmerman got back up, chased him down, pulled his gun and killed him. In sheer anger and hatred of Trayvon and what he represented to Zimmerman. Black punks who always get away with it. So I believe there is definite need for the DOJ to bring a case against Zimmerman for race hate, murder. And I do believe there's a case also for the family of Trayvon to bring a case of callous indifference and assault with a deadly weapon in a court. So that's my take on the Trayvon Zimmerman court case as it stands. I would also think that they should investigate how the jurors were picked, and they should investigate the background of the judge. Some of the things the judge said and demanded were left out in court, like no mention of race. It was definitely a racial assault. It was racial profiling, but that could never be brought up in the court case. The judge should be questioned about that. The jurors should be investigated as to how they found themselves on the jury in the first place. The juror who's now trying to write a book about her experience as a juror showed callous indifference to the young black man that was involved in this case. And even herself shows a proclivity to see young black men as a danger and a threat to the communities that perhaps she lives in, a white community. So I think she should definitely not have been on that jury with her mental attitude towards Trayvon and others of his race and age, and the way he's dressed. She even said, when she was being questioned for access to being on the jury, I believe, or maybe she said it afterwards, after the jury, but she believed that the people who campaigned for Zimmerman to be arrested during those 42 days or something when the police hadn't arrested him, she says that they were rioting. Those weren't peaceful demonstrations, they were riots. Again, shows a proclivity to see people asking for justice on behalf of a young black man to be breaking the law in some way. She had that mental attitude, and yet she was allowed to sit on this jury. I would find that questionable, and would want to know why she wasn't asked to step aside for a juror with a more suitable non-judgmental attitude towards the case, either on one side or the other. After all, jurors are supposed to be the last word in a court case, criminal court case, and you do try to pick jurors that have an open mind about the case, haven't got any poisoned preconceptions about one side or the other. she obviously shows a proclivity to believe that Zimmerman was innocent and Trayvon was a threat to the community he was walking through that night. Anyway, that's my take on it, and I'm wondering whether anything will be actually done about this juror writing a book, how she got on the jury in a small community in which her husband is a lawyer, probably connected and known in the court. I think there's something to be investigated there. Anyway, slàinte mhath. And all we can do now is wait and see what happens with the DOJ and whether any court proceedings are pushed by the family in a civil court case against Zimmerman. I hope so, and I hope both cases are brought, and I hope both of them have a different verdict from what's happened, because I do believe Zimmerman to be guilty, wholeheartedly guilty, not of manslaughter, but of murder. I believe he chased down and shot Trayvon out of peak hatred and anger, and then made up this idiotic story that seems to have been believed by half of America at least. Cheers.